how'd Magneto get so fit on that island?
Because he was pumping iron.
God damn it!
Welcome back to Home Brew at the Movies, where we try to find the perfect balance between funny, obnoxious, and informative. This is Phil.
This is Taylor.
Today we are talking about X-Men, the Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix,
starring...
Phil, I think you mean X-Women Dark Phoenix?
Yep.
Let's get it right, alright?
Yeah. So, that joke might have felt a little stiff to you guys. But let me tell you, that's an actual line from the movie.
Basically. So normally what we do here is a scene-by-scene breakdown of the film. Today we are not going to be doing that because we just have a fresh reaction for you. What we will have is a spoiler-free section for those of you who have not seen the movie yet, who aren't sure if you really want to go see it or not yet, and we'll let you know if you should see it, whether that's a good or a bad thing.
It's true.
We'll let you know. We will give you a marker of when it is no longer spoiler-free. That's when you can stop it, go see the movie, come back, finish it, dedicated fans as you are. Or
live recklessly and see what we have to say.
Sorry, I like to live my life. Dangerous.
One spoiler at a time.
So with that,
let's get right to it.
I guess we'll begin. So, I guess I didn't really do many fun facts. I just, Simon Kinberg returns.
Yeah.
To direct
and
directorial debut and writes it again.
Yeah.
Hooray.
As far as directorial debuts go, there's probably been better.
Probably been better.
Now, so straight away, let's just get into whether or not we think you should go see this movie if you're on the fence.
Yes. I guess that depends on if you want to spend money on bad movies.
Yeah, I mean, now, if you've been very committed to this series and you have enjoyed all of them to the point where you're like, there's not a single bad one. If someone's like talking crap about one of their movies and you're like, no, you don't understand why it's good, then I think you'll like this movie. And I'm not trying to say that's if you have bad taste or anything, but there are people who enjoy these movies. And
that's okay.
We've been watching this series leading up to this movie, and there's been 2 or 3 I'd say I enjoyed. Most of them have been okay, and there was 2 definite no-nos for me. And this unfortunately falls closer to my no-nos.
Yep.
But if you're someone without any no-nos, I think you'll find this movie at least okay.
I will say I think this movie is more enjoyable. I would think this movie is more enjoyable in theaters than out of theaters.
Oh, for sure.
It has a lot of cool effects. A lot of cool big CGI action moment things that are probably a lot cooler in theaters. I don't think I would have enjoyed them nearly as much on a regular TV, honestly.
No. Yeah.
This movie, I'm worried if I'd seen this movie at home, it might be lower on my list.
Probably.
Or at least a little like a lower grade.
Yeah.
Did I like this movie? No.
No,
No, I didn't.
My big thing with this movie is that it felt like this is the 12th movie in the X-Men franchise, right? If you count the Deadpools and that stuff. Mm-hmm. I feel like this
19 years in the making.
Yes, 19 years in the making. This isn't what a movie 19 years, 12 movies in the making should have been.
This isn't a finale.
Yeah, and there's so many, oh, we'll try this out and see how it happens. But like, at this point, I mean, we saw Endgame, which was the culmination of an era. I understand it's not fair to compare a Marvel movie to a Marvel movie, but Endgame was somewhere between a love letter and a victory lap of what they've been doing and what they've been working on for 20 years. This movie felt 10 years. This movie felt like they were still trying to figure out how they wanted to do things.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it should have been like a conglomeration of everything that had happened before it. But I think because there were so many duds, whereas, I mean, to compare it to the Marvel Universe again, the Marvel Universe definitely had some standout bad ones.
It's worse as an average movie.
Yeah, there were way fewer. Their worst were probably some of our higher tiered movies on this list, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like, I mean, right now, we have Days of Future Past as our like number 1 of this series. And I think Days of Future Past is the only one that would crack my Marvel ratings.
I would say that that's better than a decent little chunk of Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Not many other ones are.
Yeah. And like this had even to the point where Mystique's makeup has changed again. Like there's just all that stuff where it's them still trying to figure out how they want to do things.
Right.
And there's still, well, let's try it this way. Let's try it this way. No, let's try it this way. Let's try this plot again, but a little bit different. You know, and that's not what this movie should have been.
Yeah, it's like they couldn't even tie up a lot of the loose ends that were in there too. And yeah, like constantly experimenting with different techniques and different relationships. It's like they weren't even sure which relationships they wanted to focus on. One of my favorite scenes was Charles and Xavier. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charles and Xavier.
One of my favorite scenes was Charles and Magneto again.
Yeah.
And they barely touched this movie again.
And it was them over a game of chess, which...
Hey, spoilers.
Sorry. Light spoilers. There's a game of chess somewhere. And I think I said, was it back in... It was X1 or X2? I was like, whenever they played chess. Fantastic scene. And like that was this time I was like, man, there were specifically 4 things I liked in this movie. That scene was one of them. I'll tell you more about it and the placement of in the movie when we get to the spoiler section. But yeah, there was just so much here that was aggressively mediocre, if not a step under it. You know what I mean? And there was
Phil asked, he was like, "What's the step below mediocre?" Like, or
And there were so many things where I was like, they couldn't have done one more take, or did they spend a whole day doing that and that was the best one they had? You know what I mean?
It's like there were some things they took from Apocalypse and made it worse.
Yeah.
Like how you talked about before that there were lines where like if it had been shortened just a little bit, it would have been good.
Yeah.
It's like they had more of those instances in this.
Yeah.
More scenes in this movie where they could have just cut them out entirely. Or just unnecessary lines and instances where things could have happened differently and it would have made no difference to the plot.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Speaking of plot, there's a third there's a third plot line that didn't have to be there. Yeah, I mean unfortunately there's not much to say. It's definitely a movie.
Would you recommend them going to see this in theaters?
If you're gonna see this movie, see it in theaters. I think that's my recommendation. Is if you're excited for the next X-Men movie, don't wait to catch it on Netflix. Don't wait to
do it now.
Yeah, I would go see it in theaters. This is a movie that if you want to see it, you should see it in theaters. Because like Taylor was saying, the effects are really good. Usually.
Yeah.
Past that, yeah. I mean, if you're a fan of the series, I think you'll like this movie. If you're wanting to dabble in X-Men, I don't know if this might be an okay first one.
I'd say
but there's definitely better ones.
If I wasn't someone who was sitting here reviewing every X-Men movie once a week, I probably would have been a lot less critical of it. Because it's pretty easy for me to shut my brain off a little bit more when I'm not invested in something.
Sure.
But now I'm invested.
Yeah.
And I care a lot more. Therefore, I critique a lot more.
Yeah.
But if this is something a little bit more casual for you, and you don't care as much, I'd say it's like a decent watch.
Yeah.
On a very shallow surface.
Yeah. And it's something where if you, like you were saying, shut your brain off, if you can just watch it and have it kind of like wash over you and not really try to like take in too much or look deeper, it's fine.
God, I felt like that's what happened with us anyway.
Yeah.
We like had nothing to look deeper into.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
On the car ride home, we were trying to like talk about events, and I was like, I don't remember what happened after that scene. And like we were saying,
which is why we're not doing a scene by scene breakdown.
Yeah, we do a scene by scene breakdown. We talked about it if we wanted to do it in this review, but I was like, I can't.
I was gonna bring a notebook and write notes. I didn't, but I also think that I would have. I don't know. I probably wouldn't have anyway.
Yeah.
Would have just gotten lost in the ness of it all.
Yeah. That was the thing too. Is there was a lot of moments that was hard for me to take the way the movie wanted me to take them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There was a couple character entrances that really fell flat. There was a lot of.
What's that, Phil? What's that on your nose? Oh, that's on the nose.
There was a lot on the nose this time.
Well, if you're gonna go watch it, go ahead and pause it now. I think go check it out and then return to us. If not, stick around, 'cause here we go.
All right. So into the spoilers. Here's a bit of a, I guess, paraphrase plot, because I don't think I want to go into like all of it right now.
I also can't remember all of it.
That's also fair. So we get Jean Grey backstory. She kills her parents in a car accident. If Mystique had killed Trask, obviously that wouldn't have happened. But because Mystique didn't kill Trask in this alternate timeline, she kills her parents. Supposedly. We'll get there.
Charles Xavier somehow at this hospital, he hears about Jean's powers, and he's like, hey, come with me, little girl. And she's like, I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
Goes with her. or goes with him
Yeah.
to the school. And
then she becomes an X-Men.
She becomes an X-Men.
And then we cut to
astronauts.
Present day is 1992. There's a space thing happening, and then there's a solar flare they think it is, and then the president...
they launch a rocket, and then all communications are cut off, and then they're like, "Oh, we're getting readings of a solar flare." Charles has a direct line to the president,
Obviously.
guess now.
So the president calls them and is like, "We need the X-Men." The X-Men go on their plane and then take that up to space. They save a bunch of the astronauts. The solar flare that's coming, they're like, "That's not a solar flare." I don't know if they tell us then what it is.
They don't know what it is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we don't find out till the end of the movie, I don't think.
So one of the astronauts is like, "Hey, heads up, we have another guy in there.
Our commander.
We can't leave without him." And then Mystique is like, "No, we are gonna leave without him."
Charles taps in and is like,
you gotta
gonna get him."
Yeah. So then Jean's like, "I can fix it. I can hold the ship steady or whatever." Specifically doesn't put on a spacesuit.
Nope.
And then gets jumped over there by Nightcrawler, who specifically did put on a spacesuit.
Yep. As if, I guess he was the one that was going to go rescue. But, she's literally in space now.
She's in a broken spaceship.
So can she just breathe?
I don't know.
She
also, Storm fixed the ship for a while.
Did she?
Didn't she, freeze the holes?
Oh, yeah.
There was something weird.
She, stopped the air pressure. Well, it was, I guess she, stopped the air from leaking out or something.
Sure. I guess.
She can control wind, maybe, so, sure, that was...
Yeah.
That's fine, I guess.
She saves him. They only have 30 seconds to go do it. Nightcrawler gets the commander back, doesn't get Jean Grey back. Solar flare eats her, gets soaked up into her. She comes back to life. Nightcrawler grabs her, brings her back. Cool stuff. There's a party in the woods. Jean Grey ruins the party in the woods.
Sure.
There's a different party in a different woods. We get Jessica Chastain. Is that her character?
Yep.
Yeah. Is that her character?
That's her character.
Sorry, is that who she's playing?
That's not who she's playing.
Jessica Chastain as herself is having a dinner party.
We never get a name, so... Oh, wait. We do, once.
Do we?
Not for the human, but for the alien
Margaret.
that inhabits her.
Margaret's the human name.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like, "Margaret, what are you doing?"
Vec or something like that?
Oh, it was Vuk or something.
Vuk.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, right? Hey. She's having a different dinner party. Dogs barking all weird. What could that be? Aliens.
This is after we saw those alien spaceships. Or, I'm sorry, those things from the sky flying down onto the Earth.
Yeah.
3 different locations.
Welcome to a plot that didn't have to be in this movie, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god. I just looked at Phil so bewildered. What is this? Why? Why is this movie 3 different genres?
And why can't it do any of them?
Oh my god.
So this alien takes over Margaret, and they're looking for the power that Jean Grey absorbed. At some point we find out Jean Grey has unlocked memories that were repressed by Xavier. He says it was for her own good. He never tells any characters why, which would have saved a lot of drama.
Yeah, this is... Oh, because she was waking up. And before this happened, didn't Mystique find out? Or was that afterwards?
This is
they're
while
in
she's
Cerebro.
passed out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so they find out in Cerebro because he has Hank, kick up the power, and then he reads her mind, and then finds out she's, reading other stuff. She finds out her dad is still alive.
Whoa.
Yeah, but he died in a car accident. It's crazy.
Guess not.
Guess not.
I wonder why. Why is that, Phil?
It's crazy. We'll find out in a second, because she's going to go investigate. Buy her onesies.
Oh, and Mystique in this, meanwhile, is like, Charles is fucked up. Charles is like, it's fine.
Instead of being like, this is why I did it, he's like, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
And she's like, no, it's fucked up.
Which here's the thing. Everyone's stance in this movie is, hey, you repressed the memories of a little girl who lost her parents. That's messed up. And Xavier is like, no, it's fine. He's not like, this is why it's fine. This is why I did it. He's like, nah, you guys just don't understand.
There's just no...
Tell him.
No depth. There's nothing. It's so disappointing.
She's gonna go see her dad. She's like, my dad's alive. I gotta go see what up with that. Mm-hmm. Scott's like, hey, let me go with you. And she's like, sure, go to sleep. Scott does. Goes to sleep. then she goes. I don't know if we ever cover how she gets there.
I love that moment when Scott's like, when he walks in, he's like, Jean, are you awake? And she's like, did I do that to you? And touches her face, and there's this little baby bruise on his little cheek.
So yes, in that scene, so right before that, in the party, she freaks out, does like a little psychic explosion, knocks a bunch of people out. Scott comes in and he's like, Jean, what's up? What's going on? And then she's like, did I do that to you? And like touches her cheek. And then it shows back to Scott and like half his face is in shadow.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, did she like two-face him or something like that?
Right.
And then he's like, no, it's fine, and steps closer. And his face is still in shadow.
I didn't notice that, but I believe you.
And then he like, the way he pivots around the room, his face is constantly in shadow.
Amazing.
Like that little part where like, and then when we finally see it, it's like a little raspberry.
Yeah.
Like a little got pinched too hard by your grandma on Thanksgiving. And she's like, did I? And he's like, it's okay, I have very pinchable cheeks.
It's my grandma. It's fine. Yeah, so then after that, Jean's like, I gotta go. And then Charles wakes up and he's like, oh, Scott runs down to tell them that Jean's gone. Like, where'd she go? Oh, she mentioned wanting to find her dad, and then, yeah.
And then...
Oh, Charles says, oh, I know where she went, because he knows where...
Yeah, and people are like, where? And he's like, you'll just have to trust me. And it's like, let's fucking tell somebody what's going on.
Mystique makes a comment that's like, how do you know where she's going, Charles? And he's like, you know why I know where she's going.
Yeah, there's a lot of, oh man, we're going to do it. We're going to get into it. Next scene. And it's like, oh, all right. Sure, let's go.
That's all. There's another word for that. Lying? Is that what she was trying to say?
I just didn't tell the truth. There's another word for that. Okay. Yeah, so we cut to Jean. And she knocks on some guy's door. Guy opens it. It's her dad.
Whoa.
Yeah. C'est papa.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. And then...
C'est papa.
C'est papa. And then he's like, do you want some water? And she's like, no. And he was like, I'll get you some water. But he's acting kind of funny.
Yep. She starts looking at some pictures. Lots of pictures of her mom. She's smiling. Suddenly she's not smiling no more because there's no pictures of her.
Ain't no pictures of Jean.
None of pictures.
And Jean's like, you know what? Done with you. Puts him to sleep awesome.
Yeah.
It's night time for this guy. She walks outside.
Taking some Z-Quil in here.
Yeah. She walks outside. And then the X-Men are there and they're like, hey, Jean, what up? Sorry, let's go back. And she's like...
Why can't she just put people to sleep?
Oh, because she has mind magic now. Because she's more powerful than Charles and...
Okay,
I don't know.
She just gets in their brain and turns off their awake mode.
Yeah, she just like...
puts them in sleep mode.
She just holds the power button for like 10 seconds. Yeah.
Airplane mode.
There's a fight scene. Beast is gonna like tranquilize her, and then Xavier stops time, and he was like, "No, let's give Mystique a chance to talk to her."
Yep.
And this is a shot where I'm like, "You guys just did the one take," because Mystique's like, "You don't have to do this," and Sophie's like, "I do though." Mystique's
I'm
like,
your family now.
Yeah.
Sokka and I, we're your family. You don't have to be alone. And then this is the alternate universe where Aang fucking kills Katara.
Yeah. So Mystique like steps at her, and then
fucking fronts.
Yeah, she starts stepping on her court. So Phoenix obviously has to front back.
Yeah.
Here's a little shove. Shove turns into a tumble, and tumble turns into a spike through the chest.
Yeah. Oof, crazy how that happens sometimes, you know.
And then Hank runs over, and they have their little scene. I don't know. They didn't really.
Jean Grey flies away.
Yeah, she
lifts her head and pew.
Yeah, she breaks orbit.
Oh, and Mystique, like her last words are like she's trying to say "I love you" or something,
I love you.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Hank and Raven had like enough development in previous movies for that to be reasonable.
Yeah.
Rather than
I didn't hate it.
Magneto and Mystique or
she was so beautiful.
Charles and Mystique.
I still don't know whether or not
or
that was
Logan
being
and
pushed.
Jean.
Logan and Jean is the foundation of this saga.
You're right. I should go. Can I go?
Can I go while you're talking about it?
My contract's not up yet. All right.
Yeah. Oh boy, where do we go from here? At some point, we see the
We'll
aliens.
go to the funeral.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a
We
funeral.
the funeral, and the kids are like, "Did Jean really kill?"
So let me ask you this: do you think it was actually raining, or was Storm doing that?
Oh, definitely Storm.
Was Storm just being moody?
Definitely
just playing
Storm.
some Simple Plan.
That's what I wonder. Like, if Storm gets really emotional, is it just she doesn't even need
the girl from
the Rain Out the Window is playing. Simple Plan starts going.
Men in Black 2, when she's like, I don't cry because it's raining. It rains because I'm crying.
I don't know.
Tight.
Are we gonna do the Men in Black series too?
Sure. Put it on the list.
We're also gonna do a movie musical series.
Yeah. Movesicle, I believe you called it.
Movesicle.
Yep. His funeral scene. And
Kids are like, did she really kill Mystique?
And then Scott's like, no, she's just misguided.
She's not bad.
And then Storm's like, she's a killer.
She did it. Sometimes she's... Once again, Storm is a useless-ass character. Like...
Oh, no, she's there to fight that
no,
one guy.
I mean, like, her powers...
4x4.
Ugh. Her powers are fine, but, like, dialogue-wise, why even give her lines?
Yeah.
If you're not gonna do shit with this character, why? I don't understand. Literally, I don't think there's been one movie where she's had, like, a point.
Nope.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, it's real cool. So somewhere there's the scene where the aliens are like, oh, she has the power, I'm gonna find her. And then she finds her at a bar, and she's like,
or she's pretending to be an old man.
Yeah. She's like,
weird.
You can't penetrate my mind or something like that, right? And she's like, no,
I'm not like them, you can't read my mind.
That's it, yeah. She's like, you can't... She said that... I don't know. It's something about her mind voodoo is not going to work on her. And she's
like, you're too powerful.
No, I'm sorry. She says, who are you? And she says, better questions, who are you? Yep. That's a line.
That's the line.
And I don't know, there's so many of those lines where I'm like, you liked that one, didn't you?
Seriously, just like these last two movies just feel so self-congratulatory.
Yeah. We did it. We made a saga.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pat on the back. So yeah, she's like, I'll take you where we're not afraid of you anymore. She's like, you're the most powerful creature on the planet. Are you really gonna answer this man in a wheelchair? And I was like, that's a little bit...
How does she know that?
And also, why does it... Are you saying that so that we know you're talking about Charles? Like...
Some bald guy in a wheelchair with a blue back.
His chair was so weird. I don't like the blue.
It was like ergonomically.
It looked like a roller coaster seat.
Yeah.
He always feels like he's on a ride. And Jean's like, no, I don't think I'm gonna take orders from some bald dude in a wheelchair. She's like, well, good, I'll take you somewhere else. And then they go on a little adventure.
So she teaches her that her power is now God, because she's like, that power started the universe.
Oh yeah, they get to that building and she creates like space around them.
Yeah.
We don't even know what these aliens are.
Nope.
Why bring in an alien race whose planet was destroyed, but your only like characteristic of the species you're giving us is that they want to kill all humans, basically.
Yeah.
Why?
Yep. Why indeed?
Why?
So this leads... Oh, at some point she went to go see Magneto on the island.
Yeah, after this, she just... That's right.
Yeah. I have more to say about that, but that's not in the... We'll get... outside the summaries when we'll talk about that.
Yeah, she goes to visit him, asks him how he stops killing people. He's like, who'd you kill? She's like, don't worry about it.
I ain't gonna say no.
And then the military comes and she blows up some helicopters that kill nobody.
Yep. And
then she leaves.
Yeah.
After Magneto's like, you're not welcome here anymore.
Yeah.
Your kind aren't welcome here no more.
You gotta get out. I know what you are.
It's like a Scottish cowboy now.
Yeah. Go on, get.
Go on, get her out of here.
At some point, Hank goes there and is like, I know you know how to find mutants, find Jean for me. Tells her that
they have a bonding moment.
Yeah, tells her that 12 years in the making.
Yeah. We've been waiting for this.
Yeah. We hear... Oh, no, that's when Magneto finds out that he killed Mystique. Sorry, that she killed Mystique.
If you ask me to find Jean, I'll kill her. Hank's like, I know. Because that's so in character for Hank to want to go do this.
Just kill a kid.
I know we don't have very many things to go off of for what's in character for someone, but I'd say that's like not really...
pretty low on the character list.
Yeah.
Also, they gotta stop telling us their motivations just up front. You know what I mean? I'm so tired of them being like, hey, I'm gonna kill this person. And be like, I'd rather you didn't.
Well, they have to do that
yes.
because they have no time for actual character depth and development.
They're
because
too busy putting in lines.
Yeah, too busy putting in lines, too many threads, and too many random plots, and too many random special effects and cool action sequences.
Those were air quotes.
Those were air quotes. If you couldn't hear
those
that.
Those are air quote inflections.
Cool.
So they find her. Are we in New York here?
I don't know.
Cool. Eric finds Jean. Charles reads Eric's mind with Cerebro, which is how he knows where they are. They meet up. They have a fight.
Don't stop me from killing this girl,
like,
Charles.
Charles, don't stop me from killing this girl.
They gotta have the 4v4. Random mutants are hanging out with Magneto.
Yeah.
Who we don't even know the names of because they're super important. And we care a lot about them. God, we had the most useless fight scene. Yep. I think this might be one of my least favorite parts.
This whole scene was so lackluster.
It was so...
Yeah, like, I could tell they were like, this is it. This is one of the big action moments. And I was like, I'm not liking any of this.
Nope. I don't...
No, for the record...
Hank or Night... One of them left Charles in his wheelchair just in the middle of the street at one point.
Nightcrawler.
It was awesome. Yeah. It was awesome. Magneto pulls a giant subway train from underground
to break down a door
and then does nothing with it.
Well, he spins it around to break down the door and then walks through the train into the lobby, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he does.
Yep. Crashes some cars.
I don't know. So
Thanks for some reason. So him and Jean have a psychic metal battle on the island that they're on before he vanishes her, and he loses
hard. He at most ties it.
So why does he think he can win? Is it fueled by the power of his rage and
also,
despair for Mystique's death?
So he brings up like the banister to like stab her in the throat or whatever, but he picks the furthest point away from her that banister is and like slowly snakes it up.
Yep.
It's like cut her in the gut with the part that she's standing on.
Yeah. Like, don't give her a chance to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
She's not at full
Throw
power
a pointer
yet.
at her like Kevin Bacon.
Baconate her.
Baconate her.
People are really stupid in these movies. But I get it. It's because the writers are really stupid.
Yeah.
So there's a cool shot of her, the like thing going at her eyeball, and she's like, bitch, you thought.
You thought.
And then
she's like, so you tried to kill me.
Away?
Well, she's like, you tried to kill me, you couldn't even do that. Let me show you how it's done. Starts crushing his helmet on his head.
Let me show you how.
If you could kill your friends.
I wish she was just English.
Would ya?
I think that her performance would have been actually really good if she had just been able to have an English accent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, it took it so
There's
much
no
away
reason
from
she
me.
couldn't have been.
Right? Like, we've changed her backstory enough anyway. Why not just have her be born in England and comes over?
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, she's like, let me show you how it's done. So it's crushing his pumpkin with the helmet.
Yep.
Breaks the helmet apart. And then like puts the shards by his chest, and then he's seen flying out of the window.
She had 3 opportunities to kill this motherfucker.
I assumed this was. I was like, oh shit, we just saw Magneto die. I was like, rats.
No, I knew. I was like, no, there's no way. Well, I thought like Charles was gonna come in and like stop it when she was crushing him with the helmet, and then she stopped crushing him with the helmet, and instead I was like, oh, she's gonna stab him with his helmet pieces. Oh no, we're not.
No, we're not doing that either.
We're not doing that. Okay. Oh, she's just throwing him out the window.
But like the pieces moved like forward by his heart, and then it showed him like flying out. So I thought, I don't know.
I would have had a more emotional response to Magneto dying than Mystique ever.
Or if it was Quicksilver.
100%. Oh, there's another thing. They like told the audience that Mystique died in the trailer.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, there was that thing. Remember, we watched the 4 trailers they have out right after we watched Apocalypse, and I was like, did we just see Mystique die?
Yeah. And then I read like an article that was like why the director decided to show Mystique's death in the trailer. And I was like, did they? I guess you don't have to outright tell us that.
I guess not.
But then they did. Why would they show that to us?
I don't know what the rest of the article say.
I don't know.
That was where the answer was.
I know, right? It was a long time ago, and I don't think I read the article. I think I just read the headline.
So I picked up this book called How to Kill a Mockingbird, and there's this fucking mockingbird in my house driving me crazy.
I still think it was a bad choice, whatever his decision was.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot. I think it would have been really cool to be surprised that Mystique died.
Yeah. Well, so it was funny because leading up to that, I was like, I wonder if somebody other than Mystique is going to die. And that was like the misdirect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That
I was expecting
cool.
something like that because so Batman versus Superman,
like Magneto,
did the same thing where it was like, this is our third act, and I was like, man, if you're showing me that, what aren't you showing me? And I saw the movie, and I was like, you showed me everything.
Yep. I feel like that's all trailers do now. I just show you the whole movie.
That's a whole different can of apples for a different time, though. Is that the saying? Sorry, bag of worms. So.
Oh my god. Excellent.
Egg salad.
Eggs fucking salad.
So, Magneto decidedly does not die here. And then the military show up and they have their anti-mutant guns going. Xavier bursts in. I'll let you tell this scene because you had more of a response to this scene than I did.
She's like, are you going to try to kill me too? And he was like, no, Jean, never.
I was loving that until the part you're about to talk about.
Yeah, it was great. And then he was like, Jean, you can do anything you want. And he looks at the alien and he's like, what are you? And then turns away.
Wouldn't that have been a much better use of their one F-bomb than Scott being like, if you do, I'll fucking kill you.
What the fuck are you?
And he was like, what the fuck are you?
So he asks, what are you?
Yeah.
But then he never gets an answer because he never cares to actually figure out.
Well, it's because the movie doesn't fucking know. How is the alien?
That's true. Do we even know what the race of those aliens is called?
I think they said it right before he was like, did you learn the language? And she was like, yes.
Oh, they did. It was like J-I apostrophe something.
They were the Gibraltars.
The Djiboutis. Oh, and he's like, you can do anything you put your mind to, Jean. And she's like, then show me. He's like, what?
At the same time, you and I said, what?
She's like, show me, walk to me. And he's like, Jean, you know I can't do that.
Heads up, I thought this was going to be like, she's performing miracles now, too. Boom, now you can walk again. Be healed kind of thing.
I think I would have disliked that if that were the case.
I disliked both.
Yeah.
I didn't like that option. I just thought that's what was happening.
She animates his legs.
Yep. In a very demonic marionette style.
Yes, and she's also has to be balancing his torso, I guess.
Which, props to James McAvoy, because he sold that's what's happening to him. Yeah.
Actually, that was pretty awesome. So she has him really horribly walking up these stairs. And I'm just so uncomfortable this whole scene. I don't know what it is, but it's
it was very ooey gooey, as the kids say.
It's almost just disrespectful.
Yeah?
To people with disabilities.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not gonna speak on that really, but that's just how I felt.
Yeah.
I felt just super grossed out by this whole scene.
Yeah.
It felt like something that should have been in either a horror movie or a really intense supernaturally drama type thing.
It stood out to me.
Not a superhero movie.
Yeah, well, it stood out to me as very well acted by James McAvoy.
Yes.
And not belonging in that part of the movie.
Yes. I don't know. If that's gonna be the tone of if that's gonna be something you want to include in your movie, make that the tone of your whole movie.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a better movie if that were the case.
Sure.
But it was I don't know. It could have benefited from being longer, I think, too. Because there's just so much they tried to explore that they didn't. Because it was only 2 hours, I think.
Yeah, 2 hours.
And the past ones have been 2:20.
2:20-ish, yeah.
Yep. I don't know. Not a fan of that scene. And then she starts
she starts disintegrating him.
energy out.
Yeah.
Yeah, disintegrating him, but very, very slowly for some reason.
And then he's like, I can't see into your mind, see into mine. And then we see the whole... We see the scene where the dad is like, I don't want her. Mm-hmm. And Charles is like, well, I'll take her because she needs to be someone who actually cares about her. He says some sweet stuff to her.
Yeah.
Everything but the weird, walking thing I liked this scene a lot as far as like Jean and Charles. And
it's
that's
like
because
they don't know what tone they're going for. That's the thing. They're like, they don't know what genre they want. They don't know like what plot they want. It's like they couldn't make up their minds. They just try to do everything in once.
Yeah, and the bookends of that scene, I liked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool to see like the answers that Charles was like, I have them, you just can't for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool to see those answers be given, and I was like, okay. You know what I mean? Because like I saw it and I was like
that, yeah. And it was important for that to be with Jean. That's so like there were some good scenes in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
They were just so intermingled with really bad ones that it made them shine a little bit less brightly.
Yeah.
There's only like 1 or 2 memorable good scenes that stand out.
4 things that I like.
Yeah.
2 of them are scenes. 1 of them's a transition and 1 of them's a line.
Did we reach one of them yet?
Probably.
Okay.
I'll just rapid fire them at the end.
All
too.
right.
So Cyclops bursts in, blasts out Jessica Chastain.
I don't know why. So Phil and I saw this when we saw it with a couple friends too, and the whole row of us just like cackled.
Except your boyfriend.
Except my boyfriend. He like looked at me like ashamed that I was laughing, and I was like, I mean that's valid, I guess. But like, Scott comes in, looks at her, pew, and she just booms.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she like ragdolls out, and that's why I laughed.
So,
it was kind of cool too. I was like unexpected.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
Yeah. I do a thing where like when I think something's awesome, I'll laugh.
Yeah.
But I also have it when your movie's being stupid, I'll laugh. So
yeah.
like,
So it was like a combo.
It's hard to strike that distance.
It was a combo.
So he blasts her because Jessica Chastain is like eating her power.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jean Grey is like, because her and Charles have the moment where she's like, oh, I do love you. I can't hurt you. And he's like, I knew the real Jean was in you. And then she looks at Jessica Chastain and is like, please take my power from me.
And she's like,
cool, sure. Okay, honey.
Yeah,
and then starts eating her power.
Yeah.
For a really long time.
It takes a bit. Well, there was like an entire astral cloud.
That's true, I guess. Because I thought she was just going to suck all of it out, but I guess she still had... Jean Grey must have had almost all of that power still in her. Because when they fought later, she took her the fuck out.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, she doesn't take all the power. She gets blasted out by Scat. And then the police come. Popo's there. 5-0 breaks down the door. Has all these like anti-mutant concussion blasts.
Yeah, Charles like, you have to get her out of here, and then they don't because
yeah. He has a little zappy dap.
Yeah, they get put on a train.
Yeah, so there's a train fight scene that lasts, I think, until the end of the movie, ish.
They like go through this cave, and all of these like alien things were just like sticking to the sides of the cave wall to get on the train.
Which is a lot of premeditation that train would go through that exact tunnel.
Right? I mean, I don't know. Like, it was really creepy, but I guess that's what they're going for. Meh. So we started attacking the train.
I liked this fight scene. After the mutants got let out. Yeah.
I did like this fight scene. The guards are like, all right, we're going to shoot him. And the mutants are like, you need our help, dude. And they're like, we're fine. And then they all start dying. And they're like, we're not fine.
Honestly, props to the movie for not putting a Stryker cameo and a Logan cameo in this scene. Because I was waiting for both.
You did turn to me and you were like, so when are we going to see Stryker? I'm so glad. Well, I'm definitely not surprised there wasn't a Logan cameo. Because I think Hugh Jackman was like, after Logan, he was like, this is it. Yeah. This is my final, what the fuck is that word? Magnum opus. I was like, opus magnum.
Bang, bang.
My opus magnum. But man, there could have been a William Stryker one.
Yeah,
Thank God there was not.
I wouldn't have been happy if there was.
No.
I was like, don't fucking do it. Don't do it.
You would have walked the fuck out again. You told me you like never go to the bathroom during movies, and he went to the fucking bathroom.
So I went to the bathroom and I was like, I wonder if she's gonna notice.
I absolutely noticed.
I'm sorry, not notice that I left, but like notice that like my thing is I don't go to the bathroom.
I don't, even when you watch them at home, you're like, I don't like to pause movies.
Yeah.
When I'm watching them.
I don't.
Get out of the field. He walks to the bathroom.
Well, because so Jessica Chastain looks at Jean Grey and she's like, better question is, who are you? And I was like, yep. Just walked out.
Was that the part?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I was like, there's no good that's going to follow that.
No, there really wasn't. So they have a fight on the train. It's a pretty cool scene.
Yeah.
It goes through pretty much like all of the rankings of the mutants.
Yeah.
So like Storm is fighting up top. I liked her like Storm moment up there.
Storm was cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, Storm fighting was cool.
Nightcrawler got randomly enraged because... Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say something. So, these soldiers, pummeling these guys with bullets, right?
Yep.
Like, they are just filled with bullets at this point. Start healing. They're fine. Nightcrawler gets mad because one of the guards he likes dies. Goes to attack... A rampaging attack on these alien boys.
Yeah.
Stabs one through the chest is what was it?
Through the chest.
And then snaps one's neck with his tail.
Breaks the neck.
Breaks that neck. They will die.
Well, here's the thing. It broke the neck. That's usually a kill shot, right? Because they don't regrow bones or anything. Later on, Magneto breaks somebody's arm, and then he just like cracks it back into place.
Uh-huh.
Because they're like clay aliens.
We can't even have consistency in the same scene. Not even in the same scene.
Yeah, it's cool.
Super cool. Love it. Hank is being Beastie Boy over here.
Yep.
Tara! Having a cool mutant fight scene. Magneto is dope as hell.
Magneto rocks this fight scene.
He does rock it. It's the best part of Magneto.
Fassbender was good again.
He was a lot better.
I enjoyed Fassbender more in this one. I think he was around Days of Future Past level. Maybe a touch under it, but he was around there.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have as many, like, moments in this. He wasn't in it as much.
I will say that, like, Days of Future Past has probably my favorite, like, shot in this whole series.
Which is?
When he's getting his helmet back, he puts his hand up and, like, shatters out the glass.
That's right, yeah.
That's probably my favorite shot in this whole series. So, like, that's my benchmark for, like, how cool Magneto can be.
Yeah.
So he didn't, like, come close to that, but he was, like, the baseline of, I guess, first class-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's he definitely dipped into Apocalypse a little bit.
Yeah.
For levels for me. But you know what? I'm just gonna blame that on the director.
Yeah.
Simon Kinberg can eat ass. He does this cool thing where he like crumples up the train car behind them and just like tosses it away. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was sweet.
But then Jessica Chastain comes and is walking towards him.
She's
he
like,
points all these guns at her.
I'm too busy being Jesus.
Yeah, points all these guns at her, shoots. She's fine. She flicks him away, I guess.
Yep.
Oh, she like smashes him against the wall.
Yeah, she does a little bit more. She gets him good.
Yeah. And then she walks into the room with Jean, where Charles and Jean are having a moment in his brain. Even though she has those anti-mutant things on her, so she can still...
Well, she's that powerful.
Oh, okay. It's the Phoenix Force.
I'll get there.
Cosmic powered thing. She's like, well, it's calmer in your head than mine. He's like, why did you... I did all those things out of love, and I'm sorry, and I shouldn't have done that. And she's like, it's okay, I forgive you. But I know what I have to do now to protect my family. And then
I gotta beat this bitch in a dance-off.
That's right. Oh.
Ice, ice, ice.
Disintegrates the bonds around her.
Yes.
Floats into Phoenix.
There's a weird, like, stand-up off the bed thing.
Yep, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Bad choice, IMO. Fucks this girl up.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty fast.
Roundhouses her right in the noggin. I don't know if that's actually what happens. But...
I think she just, like, blows her away, basically. She, like, flips her to the side.
Yeah.
She, like, gets flung off of a railroad track going fast, and she's fine.
She second shields all her friends. She's like, know what I have to do, and then Charles is like, what? She's like, save my family.
Oh, that's right.
Second shields all her friends. She starts, like, spinning the train around and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Floating them into the air and everything.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool visually.
Yeah. And then there's a scene where all the, like, bad guys are running at her, and she's disintegrating all of them, and then she gets stabbed by one, and then reverts it, and then stabs... Or, no, I'm sorry, then disintegrates that guy. Jessica Chastain comes up, and, Jean starts, like, taking her power, and then Scott, his fingers start disintegrating. He goes,
Jean.
He's like, Jean, what's going on?
So she, like, knocks this woman out earlier with no problem.
Yeah.
She has an issue now?
Well,
she grabbed onto her throat?
Well, right now she's trying to, like, take her power.
Yeah.
So they're fighting over the Phoenix Force at this point.
I guess.
Yeah. And then she's like, if you take all of it, your friends will die.
But, like, why?
Because you can't control the power. She takes all of it. It's gonna just like unleash, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So she starts taking all the power, and then she's like, "Oh shit!" Starts giving some back, right? And then Jessica Chastain is like, so Jessica Chastain's like, "Your emotions make you weak," and then Jean Grey's like, "No, they don't." Flies her up into space, and then takes all the power, and then blows both of them up.
Yeah,
and
but
she's like,
"They make me strong."
And then they blow up, and she's the Phoenix again. They show like the fiery Phoenix stuff.
Melds with the Phoenix Force because you see her like skin sparkling and stuff, and she like evolves.
Yeah,
it's the foreshadowing that the alien talked about earlier. She's like, "You are meant to evolve into something greater than anything before," and she does.
Yeah, look at that.
She's pretty cool.
She's the Phoenix now.
Cool. Scott's like, she's gone.
Yeah, they reopen the school as Jean Grey School.
Well, Charles says she's free.
Oh yeah, Scott's like, she is dead. And then Joe's like, she's free.
She's free. Jean Grey School of Gifted Youngsters.
But it's Jean Grey School.
Jean Grey School.
Of Gifted Mutants or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's weird because it's not like Jean Grey's School for Gifted Mutants or anything. It's Jean Grey School in caps. And then for Gifted Mutants, like, as a very small subtitle. It was strange.
Yeah, and I guess that's supposed to also be like a thing to show that Charles is like
the one who
ego
did the grammar on the sign.
His ego like went. He was like sacrificing some of that, I guess. To like not have it named after him anymore, name it after a student.
I guess.
Or name it like, why not name it after like Mystique?
Yeah, Magneto School for Gifted Children.
Mystique School. School of Mystique. Magneto School for Gifted Children. We see the school, everyone's happy. So the government was like, we need to put mutants in internment camps after this whole Jean Grey incident
Makes
happened.
sense, though. That's the thing is, like, X-Men 1, they were like, we need to lock these mutants down. And we're like, that's a bit much. And then Days of Future Past, like, well, Mystique killed the guy.
And then we were like,
oh, you guys forgot to tell us that part. And then this time, Jean Grey went nuclear on a place. And they're like, we need to lock these guys up. And I was like, yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, there's like levels of like internment camps. So like World War II Japanese internment camp.
They were like, we need to lock up the ones that are deemed. We need to lock up the ones that are deemed like unsafe to live in our society or whatever. Like they were like, we need to like lock down the specific ones. Which I know
slippery slope.
I know snowball effects into everyone's locked up. I get that, but at the top.
But level, I get like like surface level. Yeah, there's some danger here. That's definitely an issue.
And then Michael Caine is like...
But then, so at the end... Shut up. At the end, they're like... God damn it. The government's just fine with mutants now?
Yeah.
I know, like, Jean Grey's gone, so they're all fine now?
I don't know.
Sure.
No idea.
Everything's solved.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No loose threads. It's the end of a saga.
Yep, so everyone's happy at the school, and then... we've cut to Paris?
Yeah.
I believe. Charles is sitting at a cafe.
He looks across and he sees Michael Caine. Tell your story. I'll stop.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. No, continue. Yeah.
He looks.
What's Michael Caine do?
Looks at him and nods, and then they both smile, knowing that like they've both gone their separate ways and lived their happy lives.
Yeah.
And then
Catwoman. There.
Yeah, Catwoman comes down, sits next to him.
Michael Fassbender sits down. Close.
Still wearing cat ears.
Yeah.
Though.
He's like, hey, play a game of chess with me, like old times. He's like, I'm not in the mood. And then, I don't know how he convinces him. Oh, you saved my life a long time ago and you offered me a home. I'd like to do the same for you. And Charles has like an emotional moment. He's like, please, for old time's sake, a game of chess. Mm-hmm. He's like, okay, sure. He's like, I won't go easy, or I'll go easy on you. And Charles says, no, you won't. He's like, you're right. And then they have... And then, like, pan up.
In yellow letters, it's like, executive producer.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sitcom, I think. Not the world of moon.
But I'd say that last scene was the best scene in the whole fucking movie.
Yeah. Of the 4 things I liked, that was number 4, was that scene. Oh, it pans up and we see a phoenix, like, flying across the sky.
That's right.
Did you say that?
Right. No, I didn't.
Okay.
Yep. You cut me off because of the...
Oh, there's no way I would do that.
There's no yellow text.
That doesn't sound right.
Or anything.
So...
And we get no post-credit scene.
That's it.
Ugh.
Boom. End of a saga. Look at that.
Dark Phoenix.
This movie was not good.
12 movies, 19 years. Boo.
Boo, indeed. It's just not what that movie should have been. The culmination of all those movies should not have been that.
No.
You know what I mean?
It should not have felt like a movie that should have happened in like 2006, like story-wise and element-wise. They didn't know what they were doing.
They made a slightly better X3, kind of. But, I'm sorry, it felt like they were trying to make X3 again. But it didn't... That's not the kind of movie they should have been making.
Yeah.
So, 4 things I liked. The first one... the first one, there was a scene like in the lobby of the school where we first see Xavier and Hank. And Hank's like, I know what you're thinking. And Xavier says, that's my trick. That's number 1. Number 2 was when Magneto puts his helmet back on.
Transition shot to Cerebro.
Yep. During that point, Taylor next to me had put her hands as if she was holding a helmet and slid it on next to her.
But then I was like, oh, that was a good transition.
Yeah.
So it was like 2.
Yep. 3 was the train scene. I think the whole train scene was pretty good.
Yeah. I agree.
And then number 4 was that ending shot. Those were the 4 good things I took away from this movie. Do you have any notable positives?
The acting was good. I thought the acting was overall...
Most of it, yeah.
I'd say it was good. I mean, coming off of Apocalypse.
That's fair, yeah.
It was good. Sophie Turner improved a lot for this role. Like I said before, I think that if she didn't have to focus on the American accent, she would have done an amazing job in this film.
Probably, yeah.
Like, genuinely a really good job. Yeah. But because she had to focus so much on delivering her lines while being American, super inhibited.
Yeah, it probably does take away a lot from, like, what your range is if you have to focus.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'd say, I mean, McAvoy is always strong.
Yeah.
I'd say he fucking rocked it, this film.
Yeah.
I think better than a few of the other ones, too. Yeah. I mean, he was, like, top tier in Days of Future.
I think he was close to Days, if not on the same level.
Yeah.
In this one.
Yeah, I would, too. That would, severely upped it for me, I think.
Yeah.
Fassbender did well. I think Jennifer Lawrence did well.
I think of the movies she's been in this series, this was one of her better performances.
I'd say this is my favorite.
But I think overall, still there was still a lot to be desired from.
For sure.
Her delivery and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think this is the role that she should have. It shouldn't have been her. I don't think.
See, it seems like she contracted up in First Class, and then was like, "This is not for me."
Yeah.
And then just kind of phoned it in for the rest of the movies. You know, it's kind of what it felt like.
A little bit.
Know what I mean?
It kind of felt like she just wasn't fully in for this movie.
Yeah.
I still think that she did well, but I think it also helped that Mystique's character at this point was kind of just like...
done.
Yeah. Mystique, she just felt kind of defeated, too. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Nicholas Hoult had some weaker moments in this film, unfortunately.
He either brought it hard or did not deliver. Like, there was no okay scenes. Mm-hmm. I was either like, that was good. Or I was like, ugh.
I really...
There was a part where...
disliked that kitchen scene.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the intro to the train scene too.
Give us the girl. No. So at the end of Spider-Man 2, there's a part where Tobey Maguire goes, "No!" and then runs off. And that's all I could think of after that.
No. Yeah. Well, I can't wait for Spider-Man to be next and for us to experience.
Honestly, me either. I'm excited for that.
That is probably what's gonna be next. God damn it. I can't think of any specific moments. Like the scene with the ending scene. It's one of my favorites.
Sure.
I'd say some of the personal moments between Charles and...
I like the Charles and Jean stuff.
Jean, yeah. I'm trying to think if that's what it was. It was good. That's the thing, is that these intimate moments are really nice, but they're so cut short, and they don't do anything with them. And they don't let them grow or develop at all. They're just like, here you go. Understand everything now. Let's move on to the next thing that we want to talk about, but not tell you everything about, or tell you too much about.
Right.
Simon Kinberg is a bad writer. I'm sorry. I'm sure you're a good person.
So, I mean, that's the long short of it. I mean, there was just not enough here. They tried to do too much while not delivering on stuff that they should have been able to knock out of the park. And, I mean, there was just so much here that, like, it just made me so upset while watching it. Like, I
feel like everything that was added on, we were just like, why? What?
Best
what
example.
Is going on?
There's a scene where Jean Grey right after she kills Mystique. Spoiler alert. Right after she kills Mystique, she's sitting crouched up against this building in an alleyway, and it's pouring rain, and she's trying to scrub the blood off of her shirt, and she's crying in a mess. It's a really great scene.
Yeah.
However, that's not the scene. She's doing that while saying things like, I can't believe that happened. Why did that happen? I can't control. She was doing everything that you don't do. You know what I mean? Like, you don't. And it wasn't like, oh, she's thinking and like we can hear her thoughts. Like, she was like saying these things out loud. And it was just one of those scenes that like would have been great if they did not put dialogue there.
Yep.
And there's so many points where if they had not put dialogue, things would have been so much better. Like when they think Jean dies. If they just sat there stunned silence until she woke up, way different than when they're like, what's going on? Is she okay? Because none of them delivered the...
Less is more. And
none
of these films have ever really grasped that, I don't think.
Right.
Like, so much of good storytelling can be not having to rely on dialogue.
Especially in a visual medium. Yeah. Like, that's the thing is we're in the kind of movies where show don't tell is a big thing.
Yeah.
And I understand that's supposed to be
utilize
general
your
audiences,
medium.
But that's not what's happening here. I don't know.
Why the fuck were there aliens? Why?
Do you want Phil's alternate take on this movie?
Yes.
All right. Check it out. This is X-Men Dark Phoenix version 2.0. Okay. So in the trailers leading up to
including our theory?
Yes.
About, yeah.
So the night we watched the 4 trailers leading up to it, we had the idea that Jessica Chastain was like the embodiment of the Phoenix Force or whatever. Yeah. And like it was going to be like nobody else could see her, but like she was like like coaching.
It would have been
Jean
so
Grey
much
to the dark
cooler.
side kind of thing.
Would have been so much cooler.
And if we... Okay, so everything happens the same up until the train sequence, right?
Oh, except for minus the aliens.
There's no aliens, correct. So no aliens. Everything up to the train sequence happens the same. But the big fight in, like... I think it was New York, right? That's where you pull the subway out and, like, push into the building or whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
If instead of it being, like, Magneto and 2 random mutants and Hank... If, like, Storm, who was, like, that girl's a killer... had been like with Magneto and Hank.
Yeah.
And then it was like Charles, Nightcrawler, and Quicksilver or something. And then it would have just been like a split between the X-Men fighting over Jean Grey. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We would have had all the emotions there. And we didn't. They literally killed off the 2 nameless mutants the second the like...
Did they really?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice
because that one girl with like the flippy knives got pushed out of the train immediately. And like the whip guy got like killed her. I don't remember how, but he also immediately just died.
Amazing.
So if we just had everybody there to fight each other over Jean, that puts more emotion into the fight than just rats, they're at it again. And then like we can go for the symbolism of her fighting Chastain at the end. When Chastain's like, your emotions make you weak, she can be like, no, they don't. Take her up into space, blow it up.
Yeah.
Like if we take out that alien thing and just go for like the metaphor of it, it instantly gets that much deeper instead of being like, oh no, there's reason, guys. It's aliens. It's fine.
Yep. And then the Phoenix Force would have, like, Jessica Chastain would have been like,
and she would have been called the Phoenix Force, not just Jessica Chastain.
We should have just called her the Phoenix Force anyway. But she would have been encouraging her to like, because it's just a pure force of like creation and destruction. So it would have been encouraging her to destroy the world, essentially, I think.
Yeah.
And then instead, Sophie's like, no, the world, like, my emotions make me strong, and then takes her up into the...
Yeah.
Ugh!
So we could have done, but so we did this. And...
Aliens.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, and it's just not the kind of movie we should have had here.
It would have also been a cool... If we'd had, like, actual delving into the politics that Charles was doing... And Mystique's, like, take on that, how she was like, this is all just about you, like, in your ego and, like, us protecting them. If we'd actually delved into that, but instead it was like that, teenage superheroes, alien movie, political movie.
Yeah.
And, like, something else.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, there was just so much going on.
Villain redemption movie.
And none of it had weight.
None of it, because they didn't give weight. They didn't give time for any of it to have weight. Because they don't care about that. They just want exciting new things and subverting your expectations.
That's not what you do at the end of a saga, though.
It's just Game of Thrones! Ugh. Wow. I'm very unhappy with this film.
Yeah.
I mean, like, my expectations were already super low for it. And honestly, like, it kind of, not by much, but it exceeded them just a little bit. I set them low because I wanted them to be better.
Yeah.
So I set it like Apocalypse Origins level. I was like, all right, it's gonna be like this.
I thought it'd be better than X-Men 3 is what I was hoping for.
Would you say it's not?
I would say it's not.
Okay. Would you like to read what our current rankings are at?
I'm so glad you asked. So the rankings as they stand right now is number 1, Days of Future Past. Number 2, X-Men First Class. Number 3, The Wolverine. Number 4, X2, X-Men United. Number 5, X3, Last Stand. Number 6, X-Men 1. Number 7, we have tied Origin/Apocalypse. We're still working on it. we're still tallying some votes. We're gonna get back to it.
I think we're gonna get back to that today. This very recording, aren't we?
Don't spoil it.
We have to.
We do have to. Do you want to get through that real fast?
So, I really think they're pretty equal.
Yeah.
But for posterity's sake, I told Phil we could put Apocalypse above Origins.
And I said, thank you.
So, rankings as they stand, number 7, X-Men Apocalypse. Number 8, Wolverine Origins.
Woo!
Woo!
Where it belongs, but barely.
God, so barely. May as well just be like 7 and 7.5. Like,
and so yeah, that's where we're at. I
mean, I would definitely put it above Origins and Apocalypse.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. X-Men 1.
It's been so long.
So I kind of want to slot it right between X3 and X-Men 1.
I could get behind that.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, like...
I could also see it being just above X3.
Ugh.
But see, that's harder for me to get behind. Like, right above X-Men, I'm like, yeah. Let's put it there. Right above X-Men 3, I'm like, maybe?
If we had switched... If we had done X-Men above X3, I would have put them between X and X3. Because I think it's a better movie than X3, but not a better movie than X-Men.
I think you're not remembering X-Men correctly.
Probably not.
I would say this is a better movie than X3. I think.
It's been a long...
Yeah.
It's been like 2 months since we saw X-Men. Got a lot in my head. I can't remember it too well. I saved your life.
No, you didn't.
That's all I remember.
I forgot that scene. Yeah, X-Men might be better.
Just because of that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
Remind me about X-Men 3. So
it was this movie with the Cure instead of... I'm sorry.
The
Cure plotline, not the band.
It was so bad. This story flowed better.
It did. Because here's the thing. While the aliens were not needed and not welcome, they spent very little time on it.
Yeah.
To its detriment, but not as much time was spent. And like in X-Men 3, I felt the Dark Phoenix storyline was what was keeping it down.
Mm-hmm. It was so choppy, too, I remember. Because it just went from one thing to the other constantly. And they kind of did that here, but like...
This one handled Dark Phoenix a lot better than X-Men 3 did.
Absolutely.
And then I think if the Cure had been the whole storyline, I think X3 could have done that whole thing better and been a bigger contender. But I think because this was 90% Dark Phoenix, 10% Alien. And
so true.
Yeah. And I think...
A little bit of Interstellar in there.
A little bit. Well, the little bit being Jessica Chastain.
And the end of it is like Inception / Batman 3.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises? Is that what it was?
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
And X-Men 3 was trying to do 50-50, but I think it went more 40-40, 10% bullshit.
The acting in this was also better, I think.
Yes.
I mean, minus, obviously, Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart.
Right. And Hugh Jackman.
And was Hugh Jackman good in X3?
He was getting there.
He was getting there.
That's a good point. I don't know if he was high caliber yet.
Yeah. Wolverine was where he was like top notch, I think. And then Days of Future Past and everything.
Yeah.
Last half of this list is trash.
Yes. I think I want to slot it right under X-Men 2 and right above X3.
I agree.
Yeah?
I agree.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Wait. Wow.
We both
The
did.
eyes have it.
In favor of being above X2, raise your hand. None of us did. Look at that.
Wow.
Definitive, scientifically proven, accurate readings.
Wow. All right.
All right.
I didn't think we were going to put it that high when we came into this.
I didn't either, but then I started talking. I was like, fuck, this was better than X3.
Yeah. Because, well, I mean, 5, 6, 7, 8 are bad movies, so.
Yes.
Sorry. Not good movies. 7 and 8 are bad movies.
Okay, so the new official rankings as they last stand.
Forever.
Is number 1, Days
Until
of
we
Future
watch
Past.
Logan.
Until we get... For now, then. Number 1, Days of Future Past. Number 2, X-Men First Class. Number 3, The Wolverine. Number 4, X2, X-Men United, Electric Boogaloo. Number 5, X-Men Dark Phoenix.
X3
Number
Dark
6,
Phoenix.
X3 Last Stand.
X3 Nix. You're welcome.
Thank you. Number 6, X3 Nix Last Stand. Number 7,
What?
X-Men.
Wait, where are we?
Why number 7?
Said
X-Men
X3
1.
Nix Last Stand?
Yeah.
So number 4, X2 United. Number 5.
X-Men The Dark Phoenix.
All right.
Yeah. Number 6, X3 Nix The Last Stand. Number 7, X-Men 1. Number 8, X-Men Apocalypse. Number 9, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Did it.
We did it.
We did it.
We tackled it.
We did
So-
it. We did it. We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we started this series and I was like, we'll end it with Dark Phoenix. And today I was like, we're going to see Dark Phoenix today, reviewing it later. It's the end of an era.
It's not.
We still got 3 movies to go.
Yeah. But like they're like bonus movies at this point.
Yeah, that's true. They're like
Logan
auxiliary.
is like an important one that we gotta. Cause that's like, for some reason, Logan's gonna be the end of our list. Maybe it'll be our number 1.
I'm excited for it to be number 1.
That'd be cool. I don't know. I've heard we got mixed reviews, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do the Deadpool movies. Worry not, we will be watching those and reviewing them.
Yeah.
But we will be doing them as a 2-for-1 video, so we'll be reviewing Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2 in the same review.
Yeah, in the long format we have, it's kind of hard to hit comedy the same way because a lot of the times, like in other videos, we'll talk about things that made us laugh or like other emotions. It's hard to be like, oh, and then Ryan Reynolds said this, and then he said this. So whenever it's like laugh a minute, I don't want to like break that down.
I think Logan will probably have a more scene-by-scene breakdown kind of
Yeah.
thing, like our previous ones, just to fit with the rest of the theme. And then Deadpool's will kind of do more of this style, where we'll do like a summary, big laugh, and then reactions, everything like that.
Yeah, and plus Logan, I'll talk a lot about Hugh Jackman's physique.
It's true. I'll probably spend most of the review on that.
Yeah.
Phil will, anyway.
Yep. And then Tilly will be like, I get it.
Yep. I got the spray bottle over here.
Yeah.
Stop it!
Get the hose!
He knows! You love him! If you like this video, go ahead.
Oh! Okay. So, Jean Grey shows up to Magneto's Island.
Yeah.
And she is like... no, the like, misfit mutants come out and they're like, who are you? What do you want? And then she like doesn't say anything. He's like, answer the question. And she looks past him. And we look at this house off in the distance.
Oh my god.
And the back music goes... and then Magneto comes floating out.
Arms outstretched, aiming upward at the sky. Oh my god, we died. We were trying so hard. I was so close to just guffawing.
So clearly that's not a funny moment. But I was like... And I was like... I like brought myself just like into a ball.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm gonna die.
Tyler almost hit me because I couldn't stop. Like shaking.
I was crying. It was... The effect was... Okay, weird. But for me, it was...
I didn't even notice that until you told me about it.
It's beautiful.
It was just the action of him coming. Why? It would have been so much more impactful if they'd like showed him like doing, I don't know. He doesn't need to float up there.
How the fuck does he fly?
I don't know. And we're never gonna know. Unless they explain it in Logan.
Yeah, and Logan, he's like, do you know how Magneto flies? And he's like, yeah, so. It's fucking, he tells all.
Some reporters come in. Logan's scoop. Inside scoop. Do we have any more things that we want to...
I'll probably remember during the outro, so if you want to get going. Oh! That's right. When Raven gets back from the first mission, and she's like, you don't do anything anymore. You just sit here on your ass. I think you forgot about why it's called the X-Men in the first place.
Oh,
Xavier.
we didn't talk about that.
No, we did not.
Oh, no!
So then,
That's important.
and then she's like, by the way, the women have been saving the men's ass more often than not. Maybe you should be called the X-Women. And then walks out. I don't know how to take that line. I'm not going to lie to you. This dialogue in this movie was so stiff you could cut that shit with a knife.
It was...
Like, it was tough.
Yeah. It's like, the butter knife and a tough steak, you know?
Yeah.
You couldn't cut it. So...
Yep. Like a ravioli through butter.
Remember when we used to throw parties?
Oh, yeah.
Reminds me of the first class.
The first class. Camera wink.
Wow, thank you for those, Simon Kinberg. I really appreciate it. There's good ways to do Easter eggs and nods to your past series. This ain't it, bro.
When Nicholas Holt says, I remember we used to have parties like that, and I lean over to you and go, when? That's not how you do it.
They had the one party.
That wasn't even a party. That was...
It was a party.
That was generally being like, I think we should have nicknames.
They had a party. They were like hanging it from the ceiling and shit like that. And
I guess.
they're having a good old time.
I thought it was more of a get-together.
It was a party. You could have a small party.
This was like a kegger in the woods. That's way different.
Yes, it is.
Because he's like, I remember we used to have parties like this.
It was not like this.
We used to throw Wicked Rages and the frat boys would come out. Like, there wasn't all that shit.
No.
A couple of medias making out behind a tree. Snape comes out. Gets rid of the bushes.
It looked like a sweet party, though.
Yeah.
They had in the woods. Who was that singer?
I don't know.
Stardust and
I
shit
didn't know what was going on with it. I was like, why are we having a random musical number?
So at first when they started doing that, I thought the aliens were like
yeah.
having
I
a
thought
rager
they were like
or
communing.
something.
Yeah.
Oh, glad to know that wasn't the case. Phew, right?
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Thank you so much for joining us here at Home Brew Gaming. This is Taylor.
This is Phil.
Where we talked about Dark Phoenix.
More like Dork Phoenix. Sorry.
Whoa, if you somehow liked that comment and liked this video, then go ahead and leave a like down below. If you have something to say about what we said today, comment down below. And if you want to hear more from us, like Logan, next video, go ahead and subscribe.
Down below.
Down below.
And ring the bell down below.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Ring, ding, ding-a-ding-ding-dong.
Ding-a-ling, dong-dong.
That's it. All right, see you next time.
See ya.
Peace out.